Here we go. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The game everyone has. No one's actually really waiting. As a matter of fact, all the juice was already sucked out of it when the joint practices this week scheduled for Nashville were canceled following Isaiah Bolden's unfortunate injury. Good news, as you've been updated all week long. It was a concussion. Concussions are no laughing matter. Certainly a scary moment indeed, but Isaiah Bolden seems to be doing much better. The New England Patriots, on the whole, though, not great. I dare I say, Andy Hart, as we start this preseason finale edition preview kind of jam of the Six Rings and Football Things podcast, brought to you, of course, from WEEI, Odyssey, and 2400 Sports, presented by our friends at FanDuel Sportsbook. FanDuel, make every moment more. I gotta say, I'm not so sure if the Patriots had gone to Nashville for the joint practices that as many people would have gotten dinged up or things would have gone the way they did, because thanks to the practice reports and, of course, you and Mike Cadlick churning out the Six Rings post-practice pods, never an easy one to say on the air early in the morning after only half a cup of coffee. Couple people, there were some scrapes, some dings and nicks this week. How do we think this is going to affect the way the Patriots approach this preseason finale? Because you had Christian Gonzalez pull up lame, little limpy gimpy going on. Did he roll an ankle? What's going on there? Pop Douglas continues to, I guess it's a little bit of a shoulder that he's got going on. We haven't seen Jonathan Jones since Obama was in office. It feels like there's there issue galore, it seems now, injury wise, all over this team. So are we just going to see and by the way, the nose tackle they picked up from Carolina was here for, was it a day and a half before they cut him as well, because he had an injury designation, so they didn't like his knee. I don't know. I feel like they should just put everyone. You can't cancel the game at this point, but I feel like they need to just put everyone in bubble wrap, put players 40 through 90 out there Friday night, and say, all right, this is a competition for the final 12 spots on the team. They can't afford to have any more starters get hurt.
And I think Bill Belichick might agree with you, because instead of having two very physical, competitive joint practices with the Titans this week, the Patriots had two very abbreviated, non-competitive practices at Gillette Stadium. And I think that may have been a result of some of the dings and guys. And even in those workouts, as you mentioned, not only Christian Gonzalez, there was a Jalen Mills scare. He came back in the second day of the practice week. Hunter Henry had a short, did he get hurt on that play? A lot going on.
There's no tight ends. I mean, he told this week on the first Patriots Monday of the week, Andy, Hunter Henry came on and said, they asked, how you feel in this offseason? What would you attribute your early camp success and being in the best shape of your career to? And he said it was the first offseason where he was fully healthy, and that allowed him to, with no rehabs, no surgeries, to, quote, attack the offseason. 2 days later, having put the Jonah and Hex on himself, now he gets a little dinged up. I'm not putting him out there Friday night. That's going to be the Ferkser and Sokol show. No way.
Well, to me, the first, make everything more, every moment more. Know who would like more? That would be Mac Jones. More help in front of him on the offensive line, because that continues to be an absolute crap show. We talked about it with Cadlick over 2 days of practices. I had to watch Dietrich Wise. Absolutely. I believe we decided to call it either waffling or French toasting, because it's the opposite of a pancake when the defensive end makes Trent Brown his speed bump on the way to the quarterback. I've never seen a man of Trent Brown's size get manhandled the way Dietrich Wise did to him. And I would have cut him. I would have cut him on the spot. I'm sorry, Trent Brown, there's never a reason for you to be going ass over tea kettle on a football field. And it was embarrassing. And so
370 pounds.
Yeah.
Now
that's
Dietrich
a lot of ass. That's
a
lot of tea kettle.
Sorry, that's just also one of my trigger phrases. My old man used to use ass over tea kettle. And I don't know the genesis or the etymology of it. It's just one of those ones, because it's just such a great visualization, as probably Adam Jones would pronounce it. It kills me. But what is he doing at 370 pounds? Again, Dietrich Wise, no small man himself. But what is he doing just getting absolutely blasted by somebody who's 90 pounds lighter than him? What is going on with Trent Brown?
Things. It's why I'd cut him. He doesn't care. He's taking it half-assed approach. It's part of the problem. But bigger picture, you did get Mike Onwenu back on the practice field. He's off PUP. He won't play, but he's starting the process towards playing in the opener. But the offensive, and it wasn't just Trent Brown. It wasn't just Dietrich Wise. Matthew Judon was unblocked, would have absolutely sent Mac Jones to the MGH up the hill for a medical checkup after practice if it had been real football. And that's where the rubber meets the road here. I would like to see Mac Jones and the quote-unquote first offense. Sorry, Bill, you have a first offense. That's the way it works. You have a depth chart. You put a top line on. They go to the game first. It's way first work. I would like to see Mac Jones in the first offense out there for extended period against Tennessee. I don't know if you can. I don't know if you feel comfortable enough doing it. So to me, that's the biggest question in this game is who plays, how long do they play? Because, in this modern schedule where you have 2 weeks to the opener, you should be able to play your guys a little longer and still feel fine, like they're not banged up. They have plenty of time to recover and recuperate and get ready for the Philadelphia Eagles. But when you don't trust your line, everything falls apart behind it. And we've talked about it. You have no depth. Your depth is already being cut into. If your depth is being a question in August, you're porked because you don't get deeper as the season goes on. You lose people. So, wow, this really took a negative tone. Really
but I was all excited. I was all excited for the, hey, the preseason finale. Let's hopefully make up for the lack of the joint practices with a feisty competitive game between, coach and his former player, who's now turned into his coaching rival, who's gotten a number of big dubs against his former coach and mentor as well. These are exactly the kinds of teams where iron should sharpen iron, and you would hope that this would be the final tune-up, because after this, Andy, they would get 16 days to heal up, rest up, recuperate, fine-tune, and prepare for kickoff, which is fast approaching Sunday, September 10th, 4:25 against the Eagles. And by the way, if the Eagles, as of last night, they were, according to report on the Twitter, if you will, they were the leading candidate to possibly trade for Jonathan Taylor. So if you think the Eagles already present a scary enough front with their excellent receivers, their quality tight end, their mobile, strong-arm quarterback, and one of the best pass rushes in recent NFL history, just imagine what the Patriots could have to contend with if they do pull off a trade for a top 5 running back in the NFL as well. I can't sit here and tell you right now, Andy, that I would put a single starter out there on Friday night. Mac Jones could get, maybe the Tennessee Titans front line isn't what it used to be, but it's still a Mike Vrabel coach team. So he's not gonna dial it back. He's not gonna, quote, take it easy because it's preseason game 3 or because it's against his old pal Belichick and the Patriots. He's a hardo. He's a tryhard. This is the guy that talked about lopping off his own junk to win a Super Bowl. He's not going to take the game off. There's no days off with Vrabel. That line is somehow it's gotten worse over the course of camp, and you can't convince me that it's just going to flip a switch and magically be better 16 days from now. You can't afford to have another tight end. You don't have any tight ends now, basically. You can't afford to get any other receivers hurt, Andy. So what are they going to do? Will we even see Mac Jones Friday night?
I think you have to, quite honestly. I don't know. I'm really torn. Like, you want to, you kind of have to. You need to get ready. Football players play football, all of that sort of cliche. But the uncertainty of the line, the uncertainty of the targets is certainly a consideration. I don't know. It's why Bill Belichick makes the big bucks, and it's why we second guess for a much lower salary later on whether he did the right or wrong thing in the third preseason game, depending on how it plays out, because they have also a lot of competition going on, and you need to see those guys. And some of them, injuries won't be an issue. Like, okay, the kicker. Both kickers stunk on the practice field this week. Nick Folk stunk.
What is up with this? Now, Chad Ryland misses like 4 kicks in a row in practice. Folk only goes 6 of 9 from 33 to 50. So instead of like a kicker competition, like old man Folk is charging towards one final season. Chad Ryland, the power leg boomstick young kid out of Maryland, like, no, they're both not acquitting themselves terribly well at all. The defensive line, like, we have a lot of serious competitions and some major surprise or not such a surprise cut candidates coming up, like Devon Godchaux. He's probably going to make the team because, of course, Belichick says he's one of the best defensive linemen in the game. Hasn't looked that way this preseason. He is definitely not. Lawrence Guy, he got put on skates last week. Is he potentially playing for his job? Are they going to keep Iquale and Davis and Sam Roberts and all the young defensive line guys? You need to get Mafi and City So and other young linemen tuned up. Are you going to hold on to Riley Reif? Does Stuber have a future on the team? You know what you're going to probably see? Is you're probably going to see a lot of real base coverage, making sure no one gets hurt defensively. And then on the offense, maybe a couple of passes, probably a lot of Bailey Zappi. And is this the final audition for Malik Cunningham to secure a spot on the 53, Andy?
I actually wonder if they go the other way with Cunningham to make sure he doesn't make enough plays so that you can easily get him onto the practice squad. And I wonder if we see a crap load of Trace McSorley, a bunghole load of Trace McSorley, because you don't care. No offense to Trace McSorley and the McSorley family, but you don't care. You really don't care. He's the sacrificial lamb. Go give me 3/4 of action. So
that's a great conspiracy theory that the Patriots don't play Malik Cunningham because they do want to hold on to him. However, they'd like to sneak him onto the practice squad for now because Tyquan Thornton is hurt. And I think Kayshon Boutte is now making a case to earn a spot on the 53 because you need young receivers and you need receiver depth. Again, something else they don't have right now. Trey Nixon gone. Raleigh Webb, stop it. What are we doing? Jeez, man, things really did take a turn this week, didn't they?
Yeah, and that's what happens in the NFL when you're a house of cards and when you're not that deep and you start out not deep and then all of a sudden it only takes 1 or 2 injuries, like cornerback. If Gonzalez is not available, Jonathan Jones has been unavailable for 2 weeks basically now. You look at the lack of depth. Even Isaiah Bolden was in the mix to be like next in line. He's been unavailable. We all saw that. So you're kind of at the bottom of the barrel there. And the tight end position, Ferkser is like a key role player now because of Mike Gesicki. Now, Mike Gesicki's in a red jersey. He'll be out there. He'll be out there against the Eagles for the opener. Won't be out there, I'm guessing, on Friday night against the Titans. But these games, and it's why the bigger discussion has become like, do you even play preseason games? How valuable they are? Like joint practices. Maybe coaches should just go old school and everything is internal, like a college program. And when they come out that first week, you find out everything all at once. Like it's all unseen. It's all unheard. I don't know. I don't think the NFL will go that route because I think it would be bad for business in the big picture, marketability and everything there. But
that's a very, very interesting point. That's for a podcast maybe later this season or in the off season. Is it time for the NFL to revamp the preseason as well? I kind of would go that way, having been in a lot of the preseason games, you and I doing podcasts and post-game analysis as well. There's not a lot of joy in these preseason games, of course, unless it's the Washington Commanders derailing the 8 years of perfect preseasons of the Ravens on Monday night. But otherwise, there's really not much to it. And the Patriots are seeing diminishing returns. And you're going to likely see, as Andy predicted, a lot of Trace McSorley, Pierre Strong Jr., J.J. Taylor, maybe Kevin Harris. And we'll be able of us to sit this potential slog on Friday night. Don't forget, over the weekend, Andy and I will have a Six Rings and Football Things post preseason game number 3 recap pod. Will be on the air Sunday from 10 to 12:30 to take your calls and discuss what the Patriots preseason looked like at large and what we have to come 2 weeks from Sunday. But now, of course, as we wrap up this quick edition of the Six Rings and Football Things preseason game 3 preview pod, it is time once again for all of you fabulous wagerers, pocket gamblers, and thorough degenerates for the FanDuel Sportsbook Bet of the Week. FanDuel Sportsbook, make every moment more. Because it's preseason, there are not a lot of options. We don't have the player props, the totals, and many of the over-unders will have available to us during the season, Andy. But betting on preseason is still a good time on the rocks. So we have right now on FanDuel the New England Patriots, believe it or not, a 2.5-point favorite over the Tennessee Titans in Nashville, home of all pedal taverns and bachelorette parties, and a total of 38.5. Somehow, some way, you shouldn't expect a lot of points to be scored Friday night. And knowing my luck recently, I need to go exactly against the opposite of what my gut tells me. So I will take the over of 38.5 points Friday night, 8:15 kickoff, Pats and Titans. What do you say, Hi?
So the Patriots minus 2.5. Why not? I say why
Sure.
not. You may say why. I say why not. I cover the Patriots. I watch the Patriots. I'd like to see them win. It's more enjoyable than talking about they're getting their ass whooped by Mike Vrabel. And as you said, it's the third preseason game. We're not sure who's going to play and for how long, but maybe I get a Kevin Harris long run. Maybe I get a Pierre Strong breakaway, a JJ. I don't know where I'm going to get my points and where I'm going to get my victory, but I'm just going to go with something that makes it more enjoyable for our listeners, makes it more enjoyable for us. So give me the Patriots to cover the 2.5-point spread that they are laying towards Mike Vrabel's team.
Listen to the homers and the hardos on Six Rings. Patriots 2.5 over 38.5 points. We have no idea who's going to be out there. We have no idea how those points are going to get scored. But in this particular case, choose joy, root for your team, and hope the Patriots come out with one pretend season victory and maybe a couple more bucks in your pocket. Thank you very much, FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more for helping us bring you the Patriots preseason bet of the week. And that'll do for this preview edition of Six Rings and Football Thing. Pats and Titans. Thank goodness the preseason is drawing to a close. We'll see if anyone is able to shine, pop, or earn a spot on the roster. And hopefully there'll be no popping of anything else. Fingers crossed they're able to emerge from this game healthy, because the Eagles are coming to town on Tom Brady Day, and they are coming with a rush, and the Patriots need to get some work done in a big old way. For producer Justin Turpin, and everyone at Odyssey 2400 Sports and weei.com, this is your old pal Nick Fitzy-Stevens saying thanks very much once again for listening to Six Rings in Football Things. We will talk to you soon. Good day. Stay healthy. God bless. And as always, go Pats.